What does it take to become a millionaire with search engine optimization? In this video, I asked 13 SEO millionaires their secret habits and mindsets that got them to where they are today. The advice you're about to hear is 100% pure solid gold. You're going to hear killer knowledge bombs from Kyle Roof, lead SEO for High Voltage SEO and founder of Page Optimizer Pro, Julie Adams, client SEO dropout turned full-time affiliate marketer, James Dooley, serial entrepreneur and absolute mischief maker, Gael Breton, co-founder of Authority Hacker, Nick Eubanks, general partner at Super Limited Co. and founder of From the Future, Travis Jamison, serial entrepreneur and angel investor, Kevin Indig, director of SEO and Shopify and writer at the Growth Memo newsletter, Aimi Hioki, affiliate SEO badass, James Norquay, founder of Prosperity Media, Pete King, co-founder of Authority Builders, Alex Zhu, seven-figure affiliate website flipper, Dom Wells, founder of Unfolio, and Jonas Torrang, casino affiliate SEO and Sexy Beast. I'll also give you my commentary on why their advice works and what you can do to implement it today. And make sure to stick around until the end because I'll also drop my own advice so you can reach that seven-figure millionaire milestone. Let's kick things off with the original guide to rank lorem ipsum content in an SEO contest, and that's Kyle Roof.
You need to get yourself to the place where decisions are being made. When there are JVs, partnerships, new business opportunities, client referrals, people will always bring in or recommend those around them first. You need to think about what you want and then go to where that is. Once there, be present. Share your knowledge, help organize things in the community, nurture relationships. In 2014, I went to my first SEO conference. As I sat there, I said to myself, I'm going to speak at this conference next year. While at the conference, I met as many people as I could. I then worked on those relationships throughout the next year, sharing all the stuff I was doing in SEO. Before the conference the following year, a speaker fell out at the last minute. And when the conference was looking for a replacement speaker, several people nominated me. I spoke on that stage, and it launched my career into levels I couldn't even imagine.
This is huge. Kyle's advice boils down to creating a solid network of decision makers. And you know why it's so valuable? Because no one else does this because they're not willing to put themselves in uncomfortable situations. One of my favorite quotes from Tim Ferriss is, "A person's success in life can be measured by the number of uncomfortable conversations he or she is willing to have." Even if you hate meetings, get your shit together and try to meet with decision makers. The CEO of the content agency you work with can probably cut you a better deal. The CEO of a web design agency can send you leads. Hell, this video wouldn't have been possible if I didn't have a relationship with the people you're about to hear from. Start today by making a list of 5 people you should meet with and start setting up some meetings. Next up is Julie Adams, full-time affiliate SEO and my SEO spirit animal.
The biggest habit that I've developed after being an SEO almost the past decade, that even spills over into my day-to-day life as well, is goal breakdown. So being able to see a big scary objective and break it down into the individual steps that's required to ultimately get the job done. So what this looks like in the SEO campaigns that I run is I'll have an overarching campaign objective, and I'll break that objective into quarters, so 3-month chunks. And what I'll do is I'll figure out what needs to happen in month 1, month 2, and month 3 of that quarter, and then I'll figure out what needs to happen each week, and then break that down even further into each day. Now what this does is it basically automates my task list and my team's task list so that we're able to focus on the details of the campaign without losing sight of the overarching objective.
Perfect. Goal breakdown is a commonly used business practice that Julie has applied directly to SEO. And just to add to what Julie laid out so nicely already, one of the main problems I see with new SEOs is that they get caught up in day-to-day tasks. They'll spend all day long doing grind work like getting the perfect Core Web Vital scores or tweaking their schema, but without stopping to think about what the overall goal is, and that's to get more traffic and to make more money. Julie's practice lets you stay connected to the main goal while simultaneously simplifying the process. Start today by figuring out what's your 1-year goal for your business. Then break it down into quarterly and then monthly goals. Next we have James Dooley, who's definitely one of the most successful people I know and who's also the hottest girl in Manchester according to Google.
My number 1 professional habit is to empower others. So by allowing staff and partners to take ownership of the work that they do, frees up more time for yourself then to look at your business from a high level, and it frees up time to learn and develop and network. So if you've got the mindset that you can do something better, it's the wrong mindset.
Bro, James, I couldn't agree more. We have this rule at my business: assign responsibilities, not tasks. A task would be something like go to the spreadsheet and remove all the lines that have less than a 20 DR and 10 TF. That's not exciting. It sounds like dummy work. No one's going to be empowered by this task. Assigning responsibility is more like deliver a clean list of 500 outreach targets every Monday morning with whatever method you see fit. Your employee will feel empowered by the ownership you've given him or her of this responsibility. And guess what? They'll do a much better job. This will free you to focus up on the big decisions of the business. Start to take a look at how you're assigning your work and make an inventory. Are you assigning tasks or responsibilities? Next on the list, we have Gael Breton, Authority Hacker co-founder and French guy.
Hey everyone, Gael from Authority Hacker here. One thing that helped me do well in the SEO industry is actually learning by observing rather than learning by consulting resources that teach online marketing online. And I know it's funny because we teach online marketing at Lotteria Hacker, but a lot of the stuff that we find, that we discover, that many people don't talk about is learned by Googling random keywords, observing websites, putting them in Ahrefs, looking at their backlinks, looking at how they convert people, etc. And that's one thing that I see very few people do. I see a lot of people, for example, do on-page analysis by looking at them through Surfer, for example, never really opening the pages, etc. And I think that's a mistake, and that is one way that I got a lot of insights that I think a lot of people didn't get, and that helped me get where I am today.
Brilliant. We do this too. Almost every successful website has something they do uniquely that gives them an edge. I can't even begin to tell you how many backlink techniques I've learned from spying on other websites. Once a year, set aside a day to completely review the best website in your niche. Have your employees and business partners review other sites. Then set a meeting for each person to present everything they learned from their assigned websites. That's what we do, and it's been so insightful it's stupid. Let's hear from Nick Eubanks, one of the biggest movers and shakers in the industry.
Hey, I'm Nick Eubanks, and my number one tip for personal and professional success is using your calendar with conviction. Putting absolutely every single thing that you do and that you plan to do before at least the week prior in your calendar, blocking out time for every single task you know needs to get done, and then letting your calendar dictate your schedule and actually holding true to the commitments that you've made to keep on your calendar. If you do that and you adopt the mentality, the mindset that if it is not on your calendar, it does not exist. And if it is on your calendar, you will have the conviction to see it through and get it done. I promise it'll be a life-changing habit for you in terms of your personal success.
Live and die by your calendar? Guilty as charged. If a meeting or task doesn't exist on my calendar, then that just straight up doesn't exist. A calendar is a to-do list, but on steroids because it keeps track of when you'll do something. But as Nick said, it only works if you commit to it with complete integrity, something I'm going to talk about later. If you're not already using a calendar, I'm surprised. Create a free Google Calendar and start dropping in your weekly recurring events, such as meetings, first. Then add your one-off tasks. I like to delete items when I complete them. By the way, I'd like to give a huge thank you to the sponsor of this video, and that's Ahrefs. Ahrefs is an all-in-one SEO tool that many search engine optimization professionals, including myself, use to get their job done. It really does do more things than I can count, but for me particularly, I use it for site audits, which help me evaluate the technical SEO health of my website so Google will love them. Competitor research, in particular, reverse engineering the keyword research and backlink strategies of my competition. And Content Explorer, which helps me figure out high search volume, low competition topics to write about. This kind of data is absolutely critical for doing SEO these days, and it's nearly impossible to get by yourself. And best of all, just because you hit the like button, Ahrefs is offering a free version called Ahrefs Webmaster Tools, or AWT. Just go to ahrefs.com/AWT to check it out today. Now back to the video. Here's Travis Jamison, a super successful entrepreneur that loves to run multiple businesses at the same time.
Hey there, everybody. So my tip actually has two parts. So part one is whenever you find something that's working, like double or triple down on it, because it's not every day that you happen to find a niche or a site or whatever that Google really loves. So when that happens, like really drop everything else, double down on it, get it as big as it can. The other part is like once you get that, it makes a lot of sense to diversify out, like diversify into things that aren't dependent on the Google algorithm. You'll sleep way better at night and your wealth will probably go up over time.
What I like about this is that I know for a fact that Travis lives and breathes this advice, and it works extremely well for him. Because there's so much randomness in the Google algorithm, it makes sense to place a lot of different bets. Think of it like fishing with 5 poles instead of 1. When you get a bite on one of them, you stop what you're doing and you focus on that one pole with the fish on it. And then once you have a steady stream of income, then you protect yourself. Diversify your traffic sources as well as your monetization sources. Look into getting traffic from social media like Pinterest or Facebook pages, or running paid ads. And definitely look into building an email list. Try monetizing through various methods like display ads, info products, recurring memberships, and start today. Next up is Kevin Indig, master SEO overlord at Shopify and owner of some really awesome glasses.
Hey there, this is Kevin, director of SEO at Shopify. I'm calling in live from a hotel room, and one habit that has really accelerated my career and everything that I do is writing things out. Whenever I face a problem or have to make a critical decision, or even just want to clarify my thinking about something, I write it down. And writing it down forces me to clarify and specify things, but it also allows me to have a conversation with myself. And that can be super helpful when you're not exactly sure where you want to go, where you want to take a thought, or if you really want to think things through. So writing it out can be a piece of paper, can be Google Doc, Notion, Evernote, whatever, but write it down. And as you write, you will see that your thinking clarifies. To me, writing is thinking or thinking clearly. And there's this weird effect that happens that when you write something down, all of a sudden it's almost like as if you downloaded the information from your brain, and then you have more mental capacity to think further. And so that's, for example, why you see me writing my blog every week, is because I write about things that I've been thinking about, that I've been stuck with, or that I've been facing in my daily life. And I had noticed that I had been writing about this already, so putting it live wasn't a lot of effort. And that's kind of a good example of how writing can really help you in anything that you need to think about. Good luck with that.
Yes, I'm all about this. If you want to take casual notes, use your computer. But if you want to learn or plan something big, use a pen and paper. There's been tons of studies that show that pen and paper is superior for learning and strategizing. Buy yourself a sexy notebook and commit to using it instead of your laptop for a week. If you still don't see value, make paper airplanes or something. Next is Aimi Hioki, one of the best affiliate SEOs I know, and I'm not just saying that because she's also half Japanese.
The most important habit that made me become successful is to set a clear goal. You can't just say, I want to become rich. You have to put a number to it, and that number should excite you. Then you put a timeline of how long do you want to take to achieve that goal, write it down, and go tell someone about it. Because once you tell someone about it, it makes you accountable, and it's going to push you to achieve the goal just because you told someone that you're going to do something.
So good. I actually got goosebumps when I first watched this clip. Aimi uses all the goal setting best practices. The goal is quantifiable, has a time limit, and there's social pressure as motivation. It's so simple and effective, you really could just do it right now in 5 seconds. What I like to do is create a vision board where I collect all my goals and put them up on my wall where I can see them every single day. There's your weekend project. You can learn more about my vision board strategy in my home office video, linked in the description. All right, James Norquay, founder of Prosperity Media. Let's hear what you got, mate.
Hey, it's James Norquay from Prosperity Media. My top tip for SEO professionals is basically to hire a great team. I think one of the most important things you need to do in business is have a great team around you. You've got to invest in that team. You've got to mentor your team to basically take it to the next level. If you want to succeed, I think the team is one of the most important elements of that. Another thing that I'd highly recommend is getting a good 8 hours sleep a night and keeping up with exercise. It's really important to get a PT or get involved with some form of fitness on a regular weekly basis because it helps keep your mind off the stress of business. So yeah, they're my quick tips for any SEO professionals out there. Hope this helps. Cheers.
Double whammy. I couldn't agree more on the importance of building a quality team. To learn about team building, I recommend 2 things. First, read a book called Who, the A Method for Hiring by Jeff Smart. And second, get yourself a management training consultation from Mad Singers. To get better at sleep, check out my sleep hacking video after you watch this video. Link in the description. Let's hear from Pete King, my co-founder at Authority Builders, an absolute beast at operations.
Right. Well, for me, the single most important thing is taking risks and not being scared of failure. I've made many mistakes and of course still do, just hopefully not as many now. But the key is to not repeat them and learn from them. I believe this mindset is ideal because with this I would have stopped at my first taste of failure otherwise. Here's a tip. If I could do something differently, I would try and find a mentor a lot sooner. Ideally in the same space as you or similar. Most people who have succeeded in an area of their life are usually keen to give back. So if you reach out to some people, I'm sure you'll be able to find someone that will help you. Good luck.
This is super cool to hear from Pete because I know his story. He had a hugely successful moving business powered by SEO. Their SEO was so good, it actually imploded and died because it was impossible to fulfill all the demand. But he's back on his feet and he's thriving. What's one business idea that you've been afraid of doing because you might fail? Watch Tim Ferriss's fear-setting TED Talk and see if you can really figure out what's the worst thing that could happen if it doesn't work. As for finding a mentor, I think you'll find that it's easier than you think. Start by joining a community, like the Affiliate SEO Mastermind or the Affiliate Lab. Like Pete said, at a certain level, many people just want to give back. Next up, we have Alex Zhu, who has a 7-figure affiliate website flip under his belt, but is honestly one of the nicest and most humble people I've ever met in my life.
I think a secret weapon when it comes to growing your business is learning to delegate effectively. I don't think this gets enough attention, and by that I mean learning to delegate responsibilities, not tasks, because as your team grows, if you're just delegating task after task, you just create bottlenecks. And when you delegate responsibilities, you empower people. and you have to be less involved as the owner of the business, and it can grow much faster than you could grow it by yourself. So delegation is a superpower. Learn to do it well, and things will grow very quickly.
The fact that two people recommend doing the same thing means it's serious business. As I said before, it's all about assigning responsibilities and not tasks. And I already gave you some homework on this topic. Make sure you take inventory of how you've been delegating as soon as possible. All right, what do you got for us, Don Wells of Infolio?
Hey, Don Wells here. For me, the number one skill has got to be tenacity. Without tenacity, you're just not going to get anywhere in SEO. It takes ages for you to learn if you're doing the right thing. You could just be doing the right work for ages, and it doesn't. You just have no idea if it's actually going to make a difference. Also, you could be doing the wrong thing. You have no feedback. The feedback loop is very long. And the second reason is success doesn't really come in a straight line with SEO. So you don't get to see, oh, I'm making a bit of money, I'm making a bit more money. You don't get that encouragement. Instead, it's like nothing, 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 nothing. Oh, I'm on page 1 of Google, suddenly I've got money. And a lot of people give up just before they reach that page 1 destination.
What I like about this is that it's millionaire advice, but framed for the beginner. SEO is a slow business, but once you get to page 1, the revenue you'll make in 1 month will pay for the whole journey. Dom is telling you not to give up. Have tenacity. The problem I had with tenacity when I was first starting out is that I never actually met anyone in real life that made a decent living from SEO. It wasn't real to me. I'd read stories from online course creators who say you can get rich from this stuff, but was that actually real for me? Not a chance. So in my opinion, the solution, once again, is networking and meeting people that have pulled it off, so they can give you reassurance that you're on the right path. Let's see what Jonas Torrang has to say, 7-figure affiliate in the casino space.
So I feel like there are 2 very important habits that has taken me from where I used to be to where I am today. And number 1 is that you have to find someone successful that you can learn from, who can give you advice. It can be a friend, or maybe some, in terms of SEO, SEO guru like Matt Diggity. And the second part is you have to execute. You have to do what they say, and you have to keep going. Don't give up. And that's it. If you do that, you will become successful. It's very simple, but not easy.
I swear I didn't pay him to say that, but the advice to find a mentor has come up twice, so it's damn important. Here's how I found my first mentor. I joined an SEO group on Facebook and put up a post asking who lives in San Diego, the city I was living in at the time. I found the biggest badass and asked him out to dinner at the nicest restaurant in town, just so I could pick his brain. That dinner probably saved me about a year of mistakes. Then we continued the relationship. He was a veteran that didn't have time to run tons of SEO tests and read all the SEO news and chatter, so I'd keep him up to date and he'd give me the OG knowledge. Now to round things off, here's my millionaire advice for you. Have integrity. Anything you say you're gonna do, you fucking do it. If you tell someone you're gonna be at a meeting, you show up and you're never late. If you tell someone you're gonna deliver on a service, you do it, and again, you're never late. Eventually, people get to know you as the person that gets it done, and you'll get better business opportunities and partnerships. But it doesn't stop there. Do it within your own business. Your employees will start to see that your company is a no BS place to work, and your culture will develop into one that values high quality and punctuality. And most importantly, have integrity with yourself. Never let yourself down on your promises. If you say you're gonna stop staying up late watching Netflix, then stop. If you say you're gonna launch a new website by June, then you freaking do it. Eventually, you'll have so much self-confidence in your decisions that you'll believe that you'll succeed at a challenge simply because you said you would. And make sure to subscribe for more videos just like this one.